Welcome to the B Team Podcast. I am your host, Josh Safran, with my co-host,
Matt Mars,
and our permanent guest,
Rob Nelson.
We're here every week to talk to you about all things Bentonville, bourbon, and business. The B Team Podcast. Be here. Welcome to the B Team Podcast. I'm your host, Josh Safran, with our co-host,
Matt Mars,
and our permanent guest,
Rob Nelson. I'm still here, 2025. Here we go.
Well, world, this is Jon Williams.
So now that we're talking about him speaking at charity events, why has he not come to the bourbon event?
We're going to get into that. I don't think he knows our event exists.
I'm eager to hear about it.
He goes to, he's at Mercy Ball.
This
he's
is
at American Heart
I
Association.
know why. Yeah. Josh doesn't want to give up the limelight.
Oh, I would give it up.
Yeah, because this is who we have to listen to MC it.
So I do what you do.
I mean, just what you've heard in the last 30 minutes, you know, it's a train wreck.
Not a train wreck.
I would have to start with that, to John. But we're not big enough to. I mean, he's
not big enough. We raised over $100,000.
You hit six figures on your fundraiser?
Yeah.
That's a neighborhood.
We did. It's a cool event. I mean, again, what the ones that you go to are massive, and I mean, you get 1,000 people in the room at Mercy Ball and Kiss a Pig and these things. We do suits and sneakers, all the big ones you're involved with. We created a 501c3, and Matt and his brother and Rob and myself and my wife, and it's 8 allocated bourbons, steak and shrimp dinner. It's like 125 people. I mean, you're talking about bourbons that you can't really get.
You had me at steak and shrimp dinner.
It's fantastic,
and it's
the food's a 10.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing.
November 6th.
Okay, so the thing that precludes me from doing a lot of events are Razorback games. And so is there a competing Razorback game that day?
November 6th next year. Probably it's a Thursday.
This year.
Well, we don't know next year's schedule yet. November, we're so far out.
Because I'll go ahead and give you the fact that this year, on the day that Tennessee came to Razorback Stadium, the Kiss a Pig Gala thought they should have their gala on not just the day of, but on a night game where Tennessee was at Razorback Stadium, and on the same day that Jewel and Melissa Etheridge were at the Amp. So you had all three events happening on the same exact day. It's the first time in 19 years I have not emceed the Kiss a Pig Gala, because I told them, I go, what are you doing? Like, the Razorbacks are playing Tennessee.
But they should plan this out further in advance, you know?
Correct. And I was baffled about that, to put it lightly. And so what usually precludes me from doing anything or committing to any event is whether it conflicts with a Razorback game. If it doesn't, then there's a really high chance I can do it. And so if November 6th doesn't have any Razorback things I have to MC, PA, or do Hogtown or whatever, I'd be delighted.
I would happily turn over.
I'm looking at this camera right here. November 6th. I'm in if there's no Razorback game.
It's in Little Flock.
Oh.
It's in a barn. It's super cool.
You couldn't drag me away from this now. Little Flock.
And so we have... So you know Little Flock.
Yeah. Right. Do I?
So
who doesn't?
So we had Tom Pagnozzi and Clint Branham and Blakeman had a table, and Hubbard was there, and the whole Mars family was out there.
Nice.
Dave built a table that we auctioned off.
Oh my goodness!
I mean, it was, and half the proceeds go to pancreatic cancer.
Well, and to beat Lisa, pretty much.
Well, that's from Lisa.
Yeah.
Well, the lady from Sazerac, Lisa Dumaine, Boris, who shout out, she's a good friend. So she gets all this allocated bourbon for us. So half of it goes to pancreatic cancer. Her dad went up and spoke; he's a survivor, and half goes to a veterans charity. And so Dave, Matt, Rob, myself, my wife, and it's $100,000 for 120 people in one night.
Dude, that is some ROI.
Yeah,
that's what that is.
It was a good
event. I would, if I can be there, and there's no Razorback thing I have to do. Kendall and I will be there.
Love it.
I get to sit at your table then and hang out. I don't have to be up on stage. That's amazing.
I'd be honored.
Because I try to emulate what you do.
That's enough.
But I don't do what I don't. That's a drop the mic moment for you. Stop that. It's not as good.
Josh will probably give you some cue cards to try to keep.
I need more than cue cards. People think I've had events, and I will not name them. I've had events where I have shown up, and they're raising money. There's a band. There's all these auction items. There's speakers. There's videos. There's things. And I'll show up and they'll be like, oh yeah, we wrote like an outline and you just ad lib and you just wing it. And I go, wing it? Wait a minute, you're trying to raise money. I need to know the mission, the stats. I need to know all that stuff. And the best events are the ones that have the best scripts. And they're the ones that leave the least a chance. Now, don't get me wrong, because we ad lib at certain points, but like if you expected me just to show up and start doing, a quick five like
I
Louis,
can write the scripts.
Yeah.
That's what I'm worried about.
No, seriously, I used to write scripts.
Yeah.
I used to write scripts for real.
Well, you're in.
For sure.
I
could script the whole thing.
And then there's like the Burlsworth Awards where like there's not a comma that is not script. I mean, it is teleprompter and it is a televised thing. And those things that's a high wire act when I started getting to do the Burlsworth trophy.
But you want a script where you know where you're going with it and then you throw some ad lib in it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And that way it's like jazz a little bit where you can kind of free flow. But their script is airtight. And it's those events are the best.
Do you have a favorite event? I mean, or you would rather not say? You'd rather not say.
From a standpoint of like
something that tugs at your
nonprofits,
heartstrings. Yeah, something that you like.
I'll say this. They just recently changed their brand. They're not JDRF anymore. But I was the founding board president of JDRF because my son's mom.
Juvenile diabetes.
Because my son's mother is a type 1 diabetic, has been since 10. To say it was a difficult birth is a vast understatement. He was in NIC unit for 2 weeks. He was born 4 days before 9/11. He was born on a Friday, and then the world went to hell Tuesday.
Jeez,
there was a lot to it, and so we had to go scrub in and the whole thing. And so that was something very, very important to me was JDRF, and that's what Kiss a Pig is for diabetes also. So I care very much about the diabetes.
Sure.
But everyone, all these events, especially yours, pancreatic cancer. These are very important to the people who found them, like you. And I've got family right now who have stage 4 cancer, and so those are the ones that you really give a damn about. And but as far as an event standpoint, right now I am a little biased towards suits and sneakers. I miss Muss and Danielle. From a standpoint of that event, because they poured their heart and soul into that, and that is something that's going to be tough to replicate for those guys.
Yep.
And we'll see how it goes moving forward. I think it'll be fine.
Well, we went this year.
I couldn't be there,
and the year before was the one with the with Muss and the fashion show.
Yeah.
And
I emceed that one.
Amazing.
Yeah.
This year was good. I mean, it was different. I mean, you weren't there. Muss wasn't there.
Yeah. Allison Wise and Deke did it.
Yeah,
and Allison Wise and I did it the year before that. And what they tried to do is they tried to bring in, instead of making it all about Muss they brought in all the coaches.
Yep.
And Calipari came in a little bit also. And I do love that event. I also love Kiss a Pig, obviously. That's become so big that it's beyond an event. It's like 10 mini events under one event. Have they asked Dave or anyone with you guys?
I don't know if they've ever done that.
Do you know what they do, by the way? They go and they have these people. It's like large business, small business, which basically means Walmart, Sam's Club, and then the rest of the world try and raise money. And they have their own campaigns and they try to outdo each other. And it's a brilliant business model for a nonprofit to do. And they raise an absolutely staggering amount of money every year. They just keep raising the stakes. And so that's another way to do it. But I've cut way back. I used to do like 15 nonprofit events a year. I do like 4 now.
Jeez. I don't know when you ever sleep with
I was going to ask you, how do you manage your calendar?
Yeah.
So I actually have photos on my phone that I can send you. And if you want to find a way to like put them on your podcast, I took a photo because I'm 100 years old. I actually still use one of those calendars, a desk calendar.
You sent me one. I said, "Are you available Friday?"
Right?
And you sent me a screenshot.
And I said, "Look
Friday's
at that.
open." It's literally
I got a
photo
window
of Friday. There's
I'm like
nothing on there.
LSU Women Thursday, and then I don't have anything till the next week. And so my January through May is a joke. It is men's basketball, women's basketball, and baseball, all competing, and my March and April are laughable. I mean, I've got like 20 games each month on top of me doing my show and my sales and all that. And so I should send you a photo of what my schedule looks like.
Because this week I'm like, I don't know what he's doing, but he's not working all week.
I have to color code it so I can tell where I have to be when and what games and what dates and what times. And
send me one. We'll put it up on the podcast.
I'll do it.
Yeah. Wow, that would be neat.
It's something else.
Because I think no one realizes, and I know my brother and Jenny deal with it too. They don't realize, like, they just see your show or listen to your show,
right,
or see Dave and Jenny's show, but then they don't realize
what goes into it.
You never shut off. Like you do that, but then you get on the phone and you're trying to get sponsors, and you're trying to, and then you're going to the Razorback game, and a lot of people think you just show up and you do it, and then you go back to your life.
Yeah, there is no stopping every day, and that's what's funny. Now that I have a child who is no longer a child, he's a man, and he's grown up, he's gone. And now it's just my wife and I, and so. It's going to get to the point where, I mean, for example, last night I didn't get home till 10:20, and I went to work that morning, did a morning show, and I was gone all day.
And newlywed, I mean, you want to spend time with your wife, right? You just got married 6 months ago, right?
Yeah, we got married last April 7th, the day before the eclipse. So we got married at George's Majestic Lounge, and then that night Calipari got hired.
Oh, wow.
I will never forget that. I'm up on stage. We did the whole thing, and it's nighttime, and by the way, thank God the Ole Miss baseball series was Thursday through Saturday, and then we got married Sunday. I was worried I was going to miss that game, but thank God they didn't do that. And so that night, I danced with my wife and the whole thing, and everyone's eating, and Courtney Mims of KNWA just walks right up to me. Now, remember, Razorback fans, we didn't know who the coach was going to be. I mean, Muss left on a plane to go to L.A. 4 days ago, and they're bringing up names of people that you're like, are you kidding me? This guy? Oh, we're dead. And so the wedding's happening, and everyone's just checking their phones because at that point they're like, are we going to get somebody? The next day, the Final Four game is happening, and all of a sudden it breaks. And Courtney Mims walks up to me, and she goes, do you want the best wedding present I could possibly give you? And I go, absolutely. She goes, we just hired John Calipari for the Razorbacks.
And when she says, I thought you were giving me $1,000 cash.
That's better than $1,000 cash, given the names that were being discussed for that coach.
You do, too.
And so when she says, hey, John Calipari is going to be named the head coach after the finals tomorrow. And I went, I can't say what I said. I was like, come on. And she's like, you'll see. And sure enough, it broke. And that was the night of my wedding.
How cool.
And then the next day was the eclipse. So I had a bunch of friends that came in for my wedding, and they came in for my wedding, and they really came in for the eclipse. Like my brother,
Arkansas was a great place to see the eclipse.
My brother lives in Seattle, and he brought his daughter. I go, wow, that's so nice. He brought his daughter to my wedding. He goes, don't get it twisted. I came for the eclipse. Let's not fool ourselves. And I had friends from Colorado. All of them came in for the wedding, and they really came in for the eclipse.
So everybody came to see you in Kendall. It was beautiful.
It was awesome. Right? And it was at George's. Shout out to Brian and Day Crown.
Did you have any time at the wedding?
No, but like George is an amazing. That's where when we lived in Fayetteville, that was the place to go.
And I'm going to give a shout out to a couple of the people who planned our wedding. Also, Lauren, who did an incredible job planning our wedding. And I got to be honest, they made it look like an absolute dream. Leah and Jen with Epic Events. Shout out again. They transformed George's Majestic into something that normally I'm there seeing the Nace Brothers or something, or Ultra Suede or something like that. They made that thing look like an incredible wedding.
You can tell you do this for a living because he's got all the shout outs, he's got all this
which
plugs.
Is good. I mean, that's what it's about.
Yeah, I mean, have you been writing these names down so we can call these people
on the podcast?
Yeah, George's Majestic. I have heard of them. But we got there, and it was a magical day. It was great.
I did want to ask you. You do run as well, no?
I run,
and I'll tell you how I know.
Oh, I want to hear this.
I was coming down.
It's a little creepy.
It's Northwest Arkansas, right? So I was driving past Lowe's down in Fayetteville, and I made that right turn to come down.
Sounds a little stalker.
And I'm driving down the hill there, and I see you running up the hill. That was you, no?
When was this?
This was a week and a half ago.
That was not me.
All right.
Yeah.
Next.
No.
It's like, I got a real good
video. You don't run in Fayetteville?
I would tell you if I had. The problem is I live in Johnson, and I don't know how many people try to be pedestrians in Johnson. Johnson needs to do a little work on their sidewalks. And when I say work on their sidewalks, I mean have them. They don't have sidewalks in half their town.
It must have been another handsome guy with gray hair down there. I was very confused.
Yeah.
There may be two of them out there.
It could be.
But you do run.
Not as much as I'd like.
Okay.
I'm trying to be tactful and let you down
because you're in much
gently.
better shape than the three of us. And I was figuring, what are you doing?
I don't eat because I don't have time.
Well, that's our problem.
And I've just started. I have to say the one thing that I am addicted to is Dr. Pepper. And I have had to cut that out of my diet. And it's amazing what happens when you cut out the 36 grams of sugar per serving soda. It just melts off of you.
3 times a day.
Amazing. Yeah. I mean, I was, look, shout out Sonic. I would have Route 44s way too often of Dr. Pepper. And
so good.
You just can't. You can't do that. You can't, especially late in the day. You can't do that.
I've switched to green tea.
Oh, really?
Wait a second. What?
Yeah, I'm a green tea drinker now.
Did you know this?
No.
Yeah.
Since when? Like
I told Ange this morning. Yeah, I told Ange this morning. No more coffee, and I want green tea.
So as of today?
As of today.
Is this like a New Year's resolution type thing?
No. I stopped for one the other day. And I'm like, man, this is great and super healthy for you. And probably go get one right after this.
Wow.
This is breaking news. This is bigger than you being here, John.
Yeah. Now, do you go somewhere for the tea?
I stopped at 7 Brew. Shout out to 7 Brew.
So 7 Brew makes tea. Shout out 7 Brew.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It was hot as hell. I burnt the crap out of my mouth. So be careful.
Okay.
But yeah, it was great. No sugar, no creamer, no nothing. I was like, man.
Straight tea?
Yeah, I'm tired of coffee. I'm ready for green tea.
Man.
Tea guy now.
That explains why you're a little antsy.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go.
Is it just
good energy?
Okay. Yeah. What would you drink before the tea?
Coffee.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the difference? Other than the taste. I mean.
Yeah, it seems a little cleaner.
Do you feel like the caffeine is similar?
I think it's stronger.
I could tell.
In the green tea.
He's all amped up today.
Yeah. I gotta be honest.
So is it better for you than coffee?
Oh, 100%. A lot of antioxidants in green tea.
Yeah.
Sorry, not
you
to
health
digress.
nut you.
Yeah,
this is great.
Well, when we had Mark Hufford on from Chick-fil-A, and we asked
shout out Chick-fil-A.
Shout out to Mark Hufford. We said, Bobby, what do you eat? He goes, well, I'm feeling healthy. I'll eat the chicken tenders, chicken strips.
The strips.
And Mark, who's very fit, he's like, well, you probably should eat salad or the chicken noodle soup. He went from the sandwich with the bread to the fried strips, thinking he was doing himself a solid.
Getting rid of those carbs.
The second worst thing on the menu right after the chicken sandwich.
Yeah.
So he's a health nut.
Yeah.
I got to be honest. Their grilled's pretty good. Their grilled chicken's not bad.
Have you had the grill before?
Yeah.
He tried to steer Rob towards the grilled or the soup. He said, that's probably a better option than the fried. But he's like, it's all good.
So I will say, not to totally, I did stop there maybe a few weeks ago, not to come off subject, and I ordered, the chicken noodle soup, and I ended up with some tortilla soup.
Oh, that's good too.
But I don't think it was as good for you because there's a lot of stuff in there.
So I was like, well, they probably were like, that guy didn't order cheese. Let me give him a tortilla. I threw a couple extra bags of tortilla chips in.
I put them all in there too. I was like, well, maybe next time.
And it wasn't a next time.
And
I'm having to back.
He's like, it's the thought that counts sometimes. It's not, sometimes you don't have to do everything if you think about it.
I'll take some more, by the way, makers.
Yeah,
I love it.
You guys get it. You got half a glass. You and I are about similar.
But this is our second pour already. This will be yours.
Well, we've been letting you talk. This is kind of an interview. Like we have, Josh and I are trying to decide, if we need to bring on a fourth person. And
well, actually, we are negotiating our 2025 contracts right now for host, co-host, and permanent guests.
So got enough time on this calendar.
Do you know what I now need to tell you? We bought our house in April. Let me think. 22. Mm-hmm. I got an email from you guys. Because we live in Johnson. And I didn't realize that. Do you guys get to do homes in Fayetteville?
Sometimes.
Sometimes, very rare, rarely. But normally Benton County.
Yeah.
So we got an email from a girl. I think her name is Michelle.
Okay.
And she goes, hello, I'm Michelle with Fixer to Fabulous. And the whole email is just about your house looks like a candidate, which is a kind way of saying.
So your house is a piece of shit.
Your house is a fixer-upper. But to be fair, we bought this house, and they just dropped the crayon box as far as paint. They just, purple room, post-it yellow room, everything. And it was a catastrophe. And so we knew when we bought this house, we were going to have to fix it up ourselves. And no sooner than we bought it, within 2 weeks, painted everything. We got wood floors, we got carpet and everything. And then we got the email about going on Fixer to Fabulous. Like, well, we kind of already did all this stuff. And had we not, I'm telling you, we would have thought about that.
And that was
the work you guys do
would have been fun.
On that show is phenomenal. And we're fans of it. And when Jack got to work on it, we were like stoked. That was amazing. And I was like, man, I'm so mad. We made our house nice because
we got Dave and Jenny both on, and these guys are family, so they're super biased. Sure. And I've gotten to meet them a little bit. And what you see off camera is what you see on camera. They're just good people.
You can totally tell. I mean, you can just totally see that these are people you're like, I would trust these people in my house.
Well, and it's like you, like to have a national TV show in Northwest Arkansas. And I mean, the same with what you've done in Northwest Arkansas. You have stayed here, and I'm sure you could have left many times.
I could have went back home a couple times.
Yeah, and you could probably be making more money. But your son, look where he got to grow up, and I mean, you look at all those other things
on that stuff,
and that's true. And it's a credit to them and to you guys that you guys have created this incredible brand and this incredible show and an economy. I mean, my son was a part of that economy. He worked on the show, and I know what you guys do right there and with everything. And it was really cool. And I just now remembered, oh yeah, I got the email from Fix It and Fabulous. We could have went on the show. And had we not done all the things to our house, my wife and I, we were looking at that going, dude, look what they can do to our house.
Purple and pink and yellow again and get you back on.
So where we live on Main in Johnson, like Main Street. There's our house. And we were like, this would be so great if we did this. I mean, what it would do to our property value and everything would look incredible. We would love it. And we just sadly fixed up our house too quick before we did all that stuff.
At least you did it. I mean, and that's...
Then we could always talk about things and ways that we could make this happen because
it feels like we're negotiating a deal right here.
I'm just saying.
Season 7, right?
I'm just saying, season 7.
I wouldn't talk too much more about your location of your house because Josh has kind of taken mental notes. He's like, I know I'm going to see him.
I'm going to see him running now.
I'm going to go down there tomorrow and I'm going to see if that's him. Next time I'll stop. I know it's him.
I was so convinced it was him. I was so convinced.
I'm gonna be literally walking my dog, and I'm gonna hear, "Hey, John."
Hey, John, right behind you.
Oh my God.
Hey, John, right behind you.
And I'll text you. I'll be like, "Josh, were you and John?" She's like, "No. Why? Well, why not? What do you mean?"
I'm like the FBI.
I'm like the FBI. That's a tagline for this thing. That's the podcast.
Season 2 slogan. I'm like the FBI. Stay below reproach.
That's right.
But no, seriously, we probably would have done that had we not done those things. So now that my wife's going to find out that you were on this podcast, she's going to go, well, season 7, right? And I'm like, babe, I can't.
I mean, you never know. Maybe we can do some kind of special.
I wouldn't hate it. I mean, come on.
Yeah. I mean, it would be nice.
Let's get it done.
All right, Josh.
Let's get Davey on the phone.
We need to talk to the decision makers.
Let's get it done.
So, I mean, how do they choose the houses? I mean, they ultimately are the ones who have to choose the houses.
I mean, Dave and Jenny, there's a bunch of different layers that it has to get through before Dave and Jenny go look at it. So, and I don't know that's kind of all out of our hands.
How many houses a season generally?
We do 16.
16?
Yeah.
Do you watch the show regularly?
I do. 16.
Have you seen these two guys on the show?
I probably have. I'm so old. I don't remember what I had for breakfast.
Yeah. New season comes out next week?
Yeah.
Yep.
Congratulations on every season. I mean, that's just so awesome.
So it's 6 right now, right?
Yeah.
You should know this.
So, they kind of all just blend into.
See, that's what I'm saying.
And I'm
you do so much, you don't even remember.
Like you don't remember. That's what I told we were having at Torchy's, and I was like, you got John to come here? And I was like, he was on the radio, and you had to have just started.
Yeah.
And I mean, you guys were at every event, I remember. Because, that was back when Carrie was in college. Like, we were at all the college things.
That was back when we were doing a lot of live broadcasts from a lot of different places. We were either at a car dealer on Saturday or Sunday. We would be at a bar for a bowl game. We would be we've done everything from like subdivisions with real estate companies. We've done Macadoodles, shout out Roger, all those things.
Did you guys ever go up to Shadow Lake? Remember?
Man.
That's back in the day.
Oh, man.
I had to bring it up. Sorry.
Oh, man. Do you know what Shadow Lake is?
I don't know.
Okay.
You got to hear.
Is this for the outtakes, or this is going to be good?
No, it's good. I mean, any people that have lived here.
You got me to talk about Shadow Lake. Shadow Lake. Shout out, Rod. Shadow Lake is a establishment on the river in Knoll, Missouri. And it's a unique property, to say the least. And it is right there on the river. It's covered, but it's outdoors. So, like, it can pour rain and there can still be everybody. And it's a big place. It's got some square footage. You could probably get about 700-800 people in Shadow Lake. They've got a stage area. They've got a DJ booth. All of it in the middle of Knoll, Missouri on the river. And Shadow Lake, they would have a season opening and a season ending event. They would have, to open the season, they would have the homemade bikini contest.
And that's all you heard on the radio for a month before they did this.
This guy, man, he listened to me. He's proving it right here. And you're right. We would promote the hell out of this event because it was bonkers. The reason why it was is because they actually gave away really good prizes. They would all expenses paid trip to Dallas for 3 days, 2 nights. Just all you got to do is just put some s'mores on you. Or whatever that you can concoct. That was the other funny thing, by the way. They had a box of just nonsense, and then people would make a bikini out of it.
Did you go to this?
Oh yeah, we went to it.
What did you and Carrie wear?
Once or twice.
What did you and Carrie wear?
But it's rowdy up there. I didn't.
So check it out. So we start broadcasting.
Does this place still exist?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I don't know if
it's been a while.
They've upscaled both of them. They haven't got it.
We both grew up, so
yeah. Just bad idea.
Rob wants
man.
to go, and you
What's the name of this place?
It's called Shadow Lake. He is now Googling.
Stand by.
Stand by. But here's the best part. So we would invite all of Northwest Arkansas. And I think there was an element of it for Northwest Arkansans where they felt like it was close enough, it was an easy drive, but far enough away where they wouldn't have any repercussions. And so these people would lose, period, their, period, minds, period. They would go up there and they'd feel like they were 2 time zones away.
Oh,
and they would
spring break almost?
Show out in ways.
The bar, the myth, the legend. It is, they have, yeah.
It's a thing.
It's still a thing.
So we would do these broadcasts where 8 to 10 were live at Shadow Lake. Do you think those events would start till 11:30? No. And so these people would show up and they would drink and they would drink and they would drink and they would drink and they would drink. And by the time we would do these things, anybody would be in these contests because they didn't even know what was going on. And it was crazy. And you would have it would be me and Deke. And the DJ, Chad, shout out.
I love it.
We would just get people up there and we're like, all right, you've got tinfoil and yarn.
$1,000 cash prize for the best homemade bikini.
Thank you.
So they're not as good as they used to be.
Well, so we would do this, and and whoever
only $10 to enter.
And it was all applause and all crowd, and it was whoever got the most. So they had to act as outlandish as they could, wearing just choose your own adventure, and it was crazy. But the best part is that so it would all wrap up around 12:30 or 1:30. And boy, have you seen that meme where the guy is in the yellow suit and he's looking around a tree and he's doing this? That was the Knoll Police Department as that event ended, because the event would end and all of a sudden people would leave and you'd just be like. And they would get everybody. And the only reason they didn't get us is because we were driving the station vehicle back, and they're like, "Oh, we won't. We'll leave John and them."
So when's the last time you did this event? Because
he's like, I don't.
10 years, 20 years.
It's been at least 10.
That's amazing.
It's been at least 10. We've been on 94.9 for 9 years, and so at least 10.
That's amazing. Yeah. Bobby wants to go.
They have a dad's bod contest.
See, we could do this.
Bobby, we could do this.
We're in.
It is a den of iniquity, I am telling you.
Shades of hunks at Lake Shadow. Oh my God.
John, we may bring you back to sponsor the BT podcast.
Watch this, and they're going to try to reel you
that
and Deke back
absolutely
in.
not going to happen.
Think about it.
I don't have anything against them. I mean, I love those guys. I mean, they're in the previous. I don't even know if Rod even owns it anymore. I have no idea. But it was a crazy environment to do a remote.
John and Deke sponsoring the B Team podcast up at Shadow Lake.
They have a foam float fest.
A foam float fest?
Yeah.
I'm sure they do. They're right on the river.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they totally have that.
The fact that you knew this, Matt.
Sorry for bringing that up.
The fact that of all the remotes, I have done thousands of remotes in my life, and the fact that the first one he brought up was Shadow Lake is chilling.
Well, your face, I mean, we're going to kind of zoom in during the podcast. We're like,
John
did you say Shadow Lake?
Did you just say
the
that?
muscles in my face died when you said Shadow Lake.
I didn't think anyone was alive that remembered
Shadow Lake, and I
that.
go,
Yeah, that's pretty much the face. And you're like, how do I come back from this?
No. It was fun. Those were hilarious times, and nothing too bad happened. My favorite Shadow Lake moment is this. We would have these applications because they would make people fill out. They weren't NDAs, but they were like applications where they were like, okay, I want to be in Shadow Lake. Check yes for whatever. And so we would go to all, of course, the people that we would like. That would be great. And we went to this one girl who was with the most possessive boyfriend you've ever seen in your life. And oh no, you're showing him photos, aren't you?
Oh, jeez.
So we went to one girl and we're like, hey, you want to be in this? And I mean, I don't know if it was her boyfriend or fiance or husband or whatever. He got so pissed off. And he's like, where's Jon Williams? And so thankfully I was with a group of like 9 dudes and he started getting really obnoxious about it. And the bouncers were all in tune to that. And so the more obnoxious he got, the more the bouncers started getting between us, the more obnoxious I started getting. So he's trying to get to me. And did you see Shane Beamer, the South Carolina head coach with Brett Bielema at Illinois?
Yeah.
And you see he was like, hold me back guy. I became hold me back guy. I was like, you got a problem? What do you got? And meanwhile, I've got 9 people in front of me. He's never going to get to me, ever. And he started getting really pissed off. And then the bouncers picked him up and carried him feet first out of Shadow Lake, and then you've never seen anyone worse than me at that point.
Was it Matt Morris potentially? Because it could have been. You were dating Carrie back in that time. It could have been you.
And I'm like, what? It's just so bad. So it was straight out of Entourage. It was so bad.
Great show.
And but no, Shadow Lake, man, we just did 7 minutes on Shadow Lake. That is wild.
Wow.
I'm sorry to everybody.
It's been a pleasure having you in.
Did we just do my final 7 minutes on Shadow Lake?
John's just like, I got to shut it down.
I don't know what Matt's going to say next.
My God, I'm sorry, everybody.
I got to blame Matt for that, not you.
My goodness.
I mean, we can cut it out if it doesn't.
The last 20 minutes were me working you to get on Fixer to Fabulous and then Shadow Lake.
I mean, I haven't seen John that happy in years.
It's been since Shadow Lake since I saw John that happy. And he had graham crackers and chocolate all over him. I don't know what happened. But,
anything you want to plug? Any websites? Any upcoming events you got going on?
You know what? No. It's just basically all women's basketball, men's basketball, and then baseball starts Valentine's Day, and then listen to 94.9 Radio John Deek. And 92 on the ticket for when we do Triple Double on Tuesday nights with Courtney Mims of KNWA.
Oh, that was
Love
good.
it.
So no.
Yeah.
Love it. I love it. Thanks for coming in.
First of all, thank you for having me. This is really cool.
Was fun.
And this is a really neat deal you guys do. And if I can in any way help promote it and get the word out about it, I will.
Don't you worry. These guys will be on you. Don't you worry.
And apparently I'm doing something November 6th.
November 6th.
November 6th.
Okay.
Gentsgiving year 4.
Yes.
Yep.
That's what you call it? Gentsgiving?
Gentsgiving.
That's tight.
Yeah. It's
that.
a good event. We'll get you involved.
We got to find a way for you to promote Gents Place.
We can do that.
We got to figure out a way.
We'll do that.
Yeah.
I want to keep you married.
Yeah.
I'll be fine.
Pleasure.
Absolutely.
Thank you for coming in. This was
Thank you,
great.
gentlemen.
Yeah, cheers.
Appreciate it very much.
Appreciate you. Great
and
meeting
now
you.
I got to finish my whiskey for
That was
next tomorrow.
fantastic.